What's up guys, Jun with the Sushi Man again, and in this video, I'll teach you how to make Japanese hot soba noodle soup. It's a classic dish and it's perfect during the cold winter months. Not to mention, New Year's is coming up, so it's fitting for those that want to eat Toshikoshi Soba, which is a tradition brought down over generations upon generations in Japan. But more on that in a bit. And I apologize in advance, I'm a bit under the weather, so my voice isn't really cooperating with me. But hey, the show must go on, right? Alright, without further ado, let's get right into it. So this recipe is not just meant for Toshikoshi Soba and can be made anytime throughout the year. But since the new year is right around the corner, let me explain what Toshikoshi Soba is really quick. Toshikoshi translates to year crossing, and it's tradition to eat this on New Year's Eve for a few different reasons. Soba, which are Japanese buckwheat noodles, are long and thin, especially compared to other noodles like udon. Longer noodles symbolizes longevity, and the thinness of it makes it easier to cut or bite, which is said to represent cutting off any misfortune from the past year. Buckwheat plants are also very strong against natural weather changes, so by eating soba, it signifies strength and resilience. So all in all, it's said that eating Toshikoshi Soba on New Year's Eve brings you good fortune. Alright, enough of the cultural lesson. Let's move on to the ingredients. Alright, first we're going to need soba. Obvious, right? And I know there's a bunch of different brands, especially at larger Asian markets, but honestly, they're all pretty similar. At least the ones that are readily available in the States. I actually haven't found one that I really like yet, so let me know if you guys have one that you recommend and think I should try. Anyways, they usually come dried and in a package like this. Now, depending on where you live, you might be lucky enough to find fresh soba. If that's the case, then definitely go with that. Alright, moving on to our toppings. Now, these are all optional and you're free to change or add anything to your liking, but this is how I typically make my soba, which is pretty standard. First, we have some green onion, about 2 to 3 depending on the size. Next, some kamaboko, which is Japanese fish cake, and we'll be cutting about 4 to 6 slices from this. And then we have a couple shrimps for tempura. Now, I'm not going to cover how to make tempura in this video because it's a whole procedure on its own and I already have a video that teaches you step by step. Check out the link in the corner if you want to learn how. You can also find pre-fried shrimp tempura that comes frozen, so if you don't want to go through the hassle of making your own, just get that and follow the instructions on the packaging. Okay, and this one is called shichimi togarashi, which is Japanese 7 spice. It has red chili peppers along with some other spices that goes really well with this soba dish. It's perfect if you want to add a bit of heat to your bowl. Alright, now let's go over our soup ingredients. We're going to need about 3 cups of dashi stock, and if you don't know how to make this, you can go to my dashi video with the link over here and also in the description below. You can also use instant dashi powder, which makes it easier. Now every powder is different, so just follow the recommended ratio on the package and mix it in with 3 cups of water and you should be good. Next we have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I like to use usukuchi shoyu for this recipe, which is a lighter colored soy sauce compared to your regular one. But don't get this confused with low sodium soy sauce. It doesn't have less sodium, just a lighter shade. We use it a lot in soups or other recipes where we don't want to darken the color too much. Now that said, if you only have regular soy sauce, then that's totally fine. Just use what you have. Okay, next we have 3 tablespoons of mirin. And then lastly, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's it for the ingredients. Now let's move on to preparation. So first thing we want to do is start boiling a pot of water for our soba. And I'm just going to set this on medium-high and wait for it to boil. Now while we wait, let's prep our toppings. We'll start off with the green onion. And you can simply dice this up crosswise, but I'm actually going to make some green onion curls with it, which looks a bit fancier, and it's super easy to do. So these are cleaned already, and normally if I'm just dicing this, I'll use the entire thing, including the white part. But to make the curls, we're only going to be using the green parts. So we'll cut the white part off right about here. And then we're going to turn this at an angle and basically slice this down as thin as you can, roughly 2 inches in length. So watch. Okay, now we're going to give this a cold ice bath and let it sit for a few minutes. And then after a few minutes, we'll just take this out and wrap it up in a paper towel. And there you go. You got some nice fancy green onion curls. Simple, right? Alright, now let's move on to our kamaboko. Now I'm going to cut 4 slices and then use 2 for each bowl, but you can of course cut however many you like. And we want them to be about a 1/4 inch in thickness, maybe slightly less. And we're just going to go straight from the top. Now the ends of these are always a little crooked, so I like to just cut a tiny bit of it off. Can be a little snack for the chef. And then after that, straight down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to slide our knife under the kamaboko but right above the wooden piece. So just slide the knife along the wooden base. And then it should just come right off. Alright, now let's go back to our pot of water to start cooking our soba noodles. So once the water is fully boiling, we're going to toss in our soba. And these typically come separated by servings like this. Nice, huh? And we just unwrap this little guy here. And then we'll add it right into the pot. So I'm going to do 2 servings. And we want to make sure all the noodles are fully submerged. And then from here, we want to set the timer for 1 minute less than what the package says. So in my case, it says, whoa, heat's too high. Let's turn this down a bit. So 5 minutes here. So I'm going to do 1 minute less at 4 minutes. And the reason for this is because we're going to add the soba into the hot soup later to warm it back up. And at that point, it will cook it a bit more. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. More like 3 now, probably. Alright, it's been right about 4 minutes, so I'm going to turn it off and then we'll take it over to the sink to drain and wash it. Now make sure this is cold water and you want to mix the noodles with your hand to stop it from cooking further and to wash off all the excess starch. And then shake off the water as much as you can. And done. Now let's start getting our soup ready. And this is super easy. We're just going to add these ingredients into a pot and wait for it to boil. So first the dashi. Then the soy sauce. Mirin. And then the salt. Now we'll set this onto about medium-high and stir it till the salt dissolves. Okay, now it's starting to boil, so let's turn down the heat to the lowest setting and then we'll cover it to keep it warm. Alright, everything is pretty much ready now, except the shrimp tempura, which I'm going to make right now. And again, check out my how to make tempura video for step-by-step instructions. Alright, now we're ready to plate. So first thing we want to do is bring the soup back up to a light boil. Once it starts to boil, we're going to add in the soba noodles and basically heat it back up. And this should only take about 30 to 40 seconds. Okay, so it's lightly starting to boil now, so I'm going to add the soba in, about 1 portion worth. And then we'll let it sit for about 30-40 seconds. And then now we're going to transfer the soba into our bowl. And then we're going to heat the soup back up again. And it doesn't have to be fully boiling. We just want to make sure that the soup is nice and hot. Alright, that looks good about there. Now we're just going to ladle this into our bowl. And now on to our toppings. So first the shrimp tempura. And then the kamaboko. And then lastly the green onion. And look at that. A steamy bowl of hot soba noodle soup. And then the crispy shrimp tempura along with the flavors and different textures of the green onions and kamaboko. It's good anytime, but perfect for those cold winter days. Trust me, this will warm your soul. Now, since you're here learning how to make traditional Japanese cuisine, you must enjoy eating sushi, right? Well, have you ever thought about making it yourself? If so, you'll for sure find my book helpful. It's called How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. I guide you step by step all the way from total sushi noob to full-on professional itamae, if that's your goal at least. And even if it's just to make sushi for your friends and family at home, this book will accomplish it. Or maybe you just enjoy eating sushi but have no interest in making it. Well, then it's a perfect gift for that special chef in your life so that they can make sushi for you. Now that's a win-win. I'll leave links below for those that are interested. Alright, good job guys. And now that you know how to make some traditional Toshikoshi Soba, get a nice bottle of sake to go with it and celebrate the new year right. You can check out this video right over here to learn which bottle is best for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. ありがとうございます。